Hello everyone, welcome back to the Golden Girls channel. Today we are going to be talking about clothing sizes and how different body types can fit different sizes at different places and how confusing it is. We started looking at different brands and stores to see what their sizing was listed as. Most of the sizing was pretty similar, but there was still a lot of difference, and as we looked through it, there were a couple of brands that really stood out as outliers within it. So we wrote down the measurements in inches that each store listed for the measurements to fit a size small top at their shop. And as you can see, most of them are pretty consistent between 33.5 and 34. There was the outlier right here, though, that had the smallest set at 32-inch bust size, so that was really interesting. But in general, it was relatively around the same. But as you can see, if you are a 34-inch, at some places you would for sure be a small, and at other places you might be a medium. So then we moved on to bottoms. So we did bottoms based on the waist measurements. We wrote down what waist measurements would be a medium at these different stores. As you can see, this one was definitely had a lot more difference than the first one. They all were around the 30, like 28 to 30 range, but there was definitely a lot of difference. The definite outlier was the 27. A 27-inch waist in most stores would be a size 6, which would be a small, but in this store it would be a medium, which was kind of shocking to most of us. So we took the two ones that are closest to it and we compared the waist measurement versus the hip measurement for that size. So as you can see, the 28 to 29 range at their store, it would be a 37 to a 38. So that would be about a 9-inch difference between the waist and the hips. And for the 29 to 30, it was 38 to 39. So that would be about a 9-inch difference in hips to waist as well. But when we went back to the 27 outlier, we found that the waist 27 was fit with a 38 hip measurement, which was an 11-inch difference. So that was pretty interesting because it was a very tiny waist and wide hips. The last one we did is we found the measurements for hips for a size large. These results had a very big variety. As you can see, some of the sizes were a 39 to 40 inch, whereas some of them were 42 to 45. So there's definitely a big difference in how stores interpreted hips for a size large. Again, this shows how important it is to match your size, because someone who has a 41-inch waist, at some of these stores, they would be a large. At some, they would be a medium. At some, they would be an extra large. Noticing how different sizes at different stores have different measurements is really important. It becomes apparent that it's much more important to know your measurements than it is to know your size. Someone can be a small at one store and a medium at another, and it can be really discouraging for someone to wear something, try something on at a store that you think that's your size, but it's too small or it's too big. That can be really discouraging for some people, and that's because the sizes are different. And even if it is the right size, sometimes things just fit differently for people with different body types.
Just like the shape of your body too, like I have like pretty big hips, and so like I can't really find jeans that like fit me right, that are like that. Yeah, I need to have like high-rise jeans or like high-waisted jeans for them to like actually fit. And like I can't buy like boyfriend jeans because they're like way too big around like my waist. Like if they say that they're high-waisted, like I need like a really big belt. And then it's like tight, and then it like sticks out and the belt comes up, and it's just like uncomfortable. And so like the only thing that really fits is like skinny jeans, and like they have to be kind of stretchy because then it like fits your body, but like nothing ever fits like ever.
I cannot buy low-rise jeans. Like I can't.
I can't either. I just like
they
feel
like
so uncomfortable. It just like you feel like everything's
Yeah.
Like when you sit down and then it's just like
it's like
and then it's like, but that's like with everyone. Like it literally like any body type like can't wear them without having that. Like I like when people say like, oh, a muffin top, like you literally have a muffin top because it's skin. Like it's skin and body fat. Like
it's impossible not to.
Yeah. And I went to private school, so I had a uniform, and then I got into high school, and then I had to buy all these clothes because I didn't have like clothes for like daily life. And it was just like really hard, and I was like realized how hard shopping was, especially for pants. Pants is like the hardest thing for me.
I think pants are hard for most people too. Like a lot of times you wear pants and you're like, well, they fit my hips but they don't fit my waist, or well, they fit everything but they're way too short, or they're the right length but you know they're super loose up here.
Jeans are hard.
Oh my god.
You have a very like like your body type is kind of like the body type that like clothes are designed for.
Yeah. We talk about like Khloe Kardashian's like jean line, the one that was like one size fits all. And
how do you have a jean line?
Yeah,
One size fits all.
because it wasn't jeans; they were stretchy. They were like jeggings. And then a bunch of these girls that different body types tried them, and they were way too like this girl. She's like a 00, and she was like, these like are falling off. And then like this was like a bigger girl was wearing them. She was like, yeah, they're stretchy and they're comfortable, but like they don't feel right. Like they don't feel like it was literally shaped for her body type, and her body type isn't even natural for herself, you know?
Yeah.
Because of all of like the surgery that like she's had on her legs and stuff. And I feel like that's like so sad because like just trying to make it to where it fits everybody, but it really just does the exact opposite. It makes people feel bad. And I was like, you need to be comfortable with yourself.
Like, okay, but you know how they like with their clothing lines, like some of them like steal designs from like street artists and stuff. That's problematic to me. Like there's a lot of stuff about them that I can excuse, but it's like,
or the cultural appropriation.
Yeah, a lot. Don't get started
because they're eye chakra. I don't think that, like, how can you judge something that you don't fully understand?
Yeah.
I don't understand how people can go and, like, judge certain religions if they haven't studied them themselves.
Yeah.
You know? Like, God, just shut up. Like, around, like, their eyes. Like, I think that's pretty.
Because those are big.
They go way too far with it.
Because they'll put, like, actual, like, South Indian, like, bindis on. And then Forever 21, did you guys see how they were selling? And they were, like, festival jewels or something. And they were straight up bindis, like, traditional bindis. I was like...
They wore, like, headdresses and like, took pictures for Halloween. I think, like, everybody was blowing up on Instagram. They, like, did, like, a special about it, but, like, I think their caption was really, really, really inappropriate.
There's also the people who are, like, will get, like, boxer braids and are like, look at this thing I started, guys. And it's like, you didn't start that.
Oh my God.
So all of the girls, we grabbed some tape measures and we measured each other. We measured our bust size, our waist, and our hip size to really see where we fit in our measurements.
So what I wanted to do now is I wanted us to like measure, help measure each other and stuff, so we do know our sizing, because like I said, it's more important to know your measurements than your sizes. Well, I don't want to like out anyone, but is anyone uncomfortable having their size like written down with everybody being able to see it?
No, man.
Okay. So just so that everybody can like remember, and then later you can take a picture of it or whatever.
Oh, also, okay, so I was thinking of sizing charts, and most of the larges were like, you know, like sizes like what were they, like 12 to 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but I got measured for my like choir dress, and like so she like did all the measurements and stuff, and then like I got it, and it was like a size 18. I was like, this is odd.
It could be the brand.
Yeah, it was.
Wait, Victoria's Secret, like they measure you. And
They measure you
that's
wrong.
not right.
Oh, yeah.
That's not right at all.
That's why I don't even wear bras anymore. I'm like,
I don't know what size
I wear
I'm
bras.
I can't do that.
Because the thing too is that you might be wearing the wrong band size. So you know, I'm like a 32D, and because most people wear a band size that's too big for them. So I would definitely like get fitted, because like most people don't get fitted too. That's something that's really important. Is actually like if you go into like Nordstrom, they do free fitting. A lot of people, I'll be like, yeah, they'll be like, what bra size are you? I'm like, oh, I'm a 32D, and they go, you're not a D, and I'm like, well, that's what my bra tag says. And because it's one of those things where people have like a certain image when they think of A, B, C, D. But the thing is that it's your cup size is the size, how far your breasts go out from your chest according to your band measurement, you know, because if you are a 32A versus if you're a 38A, you're gonna, like, the 32A is gonna have a lot less, like, volume of breast.
Yeah, I
than
feel
38.
like
because different bras fit differently, it depends on what style you're wearing, like, there's just a lot, so it's, like, one of those things where it's just a good idea to get fitted and to, like, understand that. So it's, like, if you are trying on a 32D and it feels, like, a little tight, if you try on 34C, it'll probably fit you.
whatever.
Yeah,
I usually just wear bralettes now.
Yeah.
Or not
Me too.
bra at all. Like I
It's
don't
so
even care anymore.
frustrating.
I go braless so much, but it's like I don't like because like it sweats.
A couple of the girls brought in clothing that was considered one size. So they were from either brands that don't cell sizes really, like Brandy Melville, or they were one size fits most, and we all tried them on to see how it looked different with our different bodies. So there were girls that would be a size 2 in most stores versus girls that would be a size 12, and they were trying on the same shirt so that we could really see how different it is, because although one size might fit most a lot of the times, it's not one fit for every person. Just because you can put it on doesn't mean it looks how it looks on the model or it looks how you want it to look. So it's really important to be aware of that. Yeah, I think it's a really great idea after you finish watching this video, grab a tape measure and find your measurements and look at your favorite brands and see, are you wearing the right sizes? For those of you who wear bras, you might consider measuring yourself to really see if you're wearing the correct bra size. And I would recommend to go into a store, not Victoria's Secret, they don't measure correctly, and get bra measured to see, are you wearing the right size? And if you aren't, when you try one that is the correct size for you, you'd be surprised how much more comfortable it is. Alright, so we're going to start off measuring our body. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you're on the right side of the tape. I'm going by American Standard, so we're going to use inches. Then you're going to follow your waistline. We're going to measure our waist first. So where your stomach pinches in the most, that's going to be your natural waist, and that's what we're measuring. So if you just wrap it around, you want to make sure that it's even across your back. It's not drooping down, drooping up. You also want to make sure that it's not too tight. You can breathe, you're not sucking in, but you're also not pushing your stomach out too far. And that number is going to be your pant size, usually for waist. So it might depend on what you're buying, what brand, those can differ, but it's a good starting number. Alright, so now we're going to move on to measuring your hips. This is really important because sometimes pants don't have a wide enough ratio for hips to your waist, and so this will really tell you whether pants are likely to fit you. So you're going to wrap the tape measure around the widest part of your hips. For people like me where you don't really have hips, that might be a little bit difficult to identify, but in most cases it's pretty easy to find. It's probably going to be about like a third of the way down your butt, kind of a little past where it starts to curve out. And then so you want to make sure that it's not dripping in the back like all of these other measurements, just to double check. Whatever number you get, that would be your hip measurement, and that can tell you your waist to hip ratio. Your bust size is basically the circumference of your rib cage and your breast together. So what you're going to do, you're just going to grab your tape, make sure it is on the inches side, and you're going to wrap it around again, make sure it's straight across your back, not drooping or anything, and you're going to take it so it goes to around the fullest area of your breast. Now for measuring bra sizes, you're going to want to do this without wearing a bra. You want to be able to measure your natural breasts. Bras oftentimes can lift and squeeze your boobs together, so you might get a measurement that is smaller than your actual shape. So the newer and better way, you would wrap the tape around the top of your breasts, under your armpits, and measure that size. That'll be your band size. If you get an odd number, it's recommended that you round up, but I actually usually round down because it has a tighter fit and your bras do wear out and loosen up over time. And you're going to do your bust size, and the difference between those two numbers is going to represent your cup size.
Phone call before dawn is only bad news. I heard every terrible word. It couldn't be true. That couldn't happen to you.
So thanks for tuning in to the Golden Girls channel once again. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.
Kylie's doing this thing where like she's like opening up and like showing like how she like hates being famous, but then it's like another Kylie.
No, it's like a new reality show about how she hates being on a reality show. You're like making a new reality show about yourself. Hating being followed. Like girl, like what are you doing?
Like, every time she's on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, everything she's just like I hate being filmed. I hate being like people taking pictures of me. I was like, wow, okay. You definitely made a career out of it though.
Yeah.
Props to her though. Like she built an entire career out of literally sucking. Like
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
It shows people how... Wait, what am I trying to say? There's something else. So
I rode my bike to school the other day and I wasn't wearing a bra. And I like bounced and I was like,
Yeah.
oh god.
So that's it. Have a great week, and so that's it. Thanks for tuning in again, and goodbye. What am I doing with my life?
Like you'd never seen blue. Wish I could see the world like that.